Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to turn NotebookLM into an interactive course or course component. Assuming that you have uploaded your own content to NotebookLM, and this is an area in which you have expertise, you can give individuals interacting with your notebook an interactive experience. Assuming that you're going to select the one source that you have already created, you are then going to create an audio overview. And for the sake of this video, we could use any of the other formats. However, we are going to use a deep dive and we're going to use the short form length. We are going to write in a prompt. You can add a number of things to your prompt. At minimum, you want the AI to state that their discussion represents the source. You want the overview only to refer to the source. You want the AI to state that the overview is strictly within the bounds of the source. And then you want the overview to summarize the source for a specific audience, which would be your niche. What you then want to do is to add a note or instructions for the overview. Now, for the sake of this video, we're not going to write in actual notes. We're just going to put the prompt in here. But what you would do is to write notes for the user of the notebook. You're going to give a numbering convention so that it will appear at the top. You will then want to do the best you can to make sure that the viewer of your notebook reads the note that you write first. And this is where you're going to tell the viewer how to use your notebook. Assuming the second portion that you want the viewer to undertake will be the interactive audio, you're going to rename the interactive audio. You're going to use a numbering convention. And whatever numbering convention that you use, you want to make sure that this audio is going to appear right after the README file that you've placed at the top of the notebook. What we are now going to do is click Enter. You will need to give your viewer explicit instructions on how to get started with the interactive portion. They'll need to click this element that says Interactive Mode. Interactive mode will then be open. You will then need to make sure that your instructions tell them that they'll need to click this play audio button. And then when they're ready, they will then need to join the conversation in order to ask their question or provide their comment. We are now going to click play audio. We're then going to click join. We're then going to ask a question. Once our question has been answered, the audio will then continue its portion of the training.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tearing into a single source that's a masterclass excerpt called DFY Live Masterclass Edited 1.mp4.
Yeah.
And just, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
Before we get started, I'd like to know what platform we're going to be using for this training.
That is a great question right out of the gate.
Very practical question, yes.
The source material is entirely focused on a platform called ElevenLabs Music.
That's the AI music generator we'll be discussing for the whole session.
And we're using that tool to look at how online expertise marketers can create music.
Specifically for things like podcast intros and outros, as we said.
Exactly. Our analysis is strictly based on the info presented in that ElevenLabs resource.
The mission here is to give you a fast, practical guide to using this AI music platform.
And what really stands out about ElevenLabs Music is the accessibility.
The promise is powerful. You don't need to be a composer anymore to create custom tracks.
So what you'll see is that the individual will then be able to interact with your content that has been remade into an AI audio. And then once the individual asks a question, the host will then return to the regular audio. Okay, so thanks, and I will see you in another video.